I like it here. I always have. It took a while. Moving to the east it depends on when you move too. I moved here at a, terrible time. Second semester of 8th grade. That's a bad time to move. But also, people are a lot different too from in the Midwest than they are in the East. In the Midwest, everybody is so friendly, right from the start. And not everybody, but you have to take a can opener to know the people real well here. And once you get to know them, they're great people, most of them. Being with people all day long, you meet all kinds. And I love people.
Peter comes from a very loving family that is right now is spread in Ohio, Virginia, New York, all over the place, and in Norwalk next door. They're very successful people, and they recognize the importance of independence and working.
I love meeting new people. I hate seeing people that you've known forever leave. What do you mean you're going away? You're not allowed to go away.
Peter's an unusual looking person because of the size of his head. And I had known that I had seen him around New Canaan quite a bit, and I always marveled at the amount of friends and the amount of people that talked to him all the time. And I honestly thought, because of the size of his head, that he was some kind of a genius or something, because he had such interesting friends.
You can't get along with everybody. No matter how hard you try, and I get along with most everybody. But if you can't get along with me, there's a problem. Hi, how are you today? One of the many fun things that's been fun about the store is the new people come in our store. Paper or plastic? And they get to know me and love me. But who knows me that doesn't love me? I was in the hospital a lot when I was a little kid. So I got, and I started school at 7, and my young childhood is very sketchy because all I remember is having, being in the hospital a lot. When I got out of the hospital, started school, I was 7, and I went to kindergarten. When I was up in upstate New York, I went home for Christmas every year. I went home to live permanently in '63, and that was nice. Go around the world without running into somebody from New Canaan, or somebody will say, "You live in Canaan, you must know Peter Lewis."
That's nice. Jeez, you do.
Just been behaving myself. I'm brilliant. I got all the words. This one right here. That's when you go camping. What do you call it? Or you go go have a beer with the boys. All you people, all you people got these sheepskins from Harvard and Yale.
Oh, that's that day. All of a sudden.
You know,
Sorry.
I gotta test you now.
The other remarkable thing about Peter is, he loves people, but he also loves music.
People who know me know I love the Beatles. They know I love Bruce Hornsby. They know I love Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I could never hear it at home. Of course, parents, they're allowed to play their music as loud as they want, but as soon as you turn yours up, turn the damn stuff down now! My first concert with a group called Paul Revere and the Raiders. I saw the Kinks. I saw George Harrison. I saw Paul McCartney twice. I saw Peter Frampton. I saw the Fifth Dimension. They were a soul group in the mid-'60s. I saw Billy Preston, he played with George Harrison. He was better. I mean, I liked him. I went to see George Harrison. I almost enjoyed Billy Preston better. Sorry, George. Forgive me. I'll never forget going to that show. My mother got the tickets. She was so excited. I'm ecstatic that she got the tickets. But back in my mind, I'm going, Mom, you don't like rock and roll. Mom, do you know how loud this music's going to be? But that wasn't my biggest concern. Mom, do you know they're going to be smoking pot there? And she comes out of the show. What was that funny smell?
In 1974, I was kind of in transition. Excuse me, I'd been living in Chicago and Idaho. Moved east and got a job in a sheltered workshop in Norwalk. And immediately was very impressed with a young guy named Peter Lewis. I was first probably most impressed with Peter's openness and friendliness. And he was an extremely hard worker. Some of these people had spent most of their lives in institutions. And the early 70s was kind of the beginning of getting people out of institutions, closing down a lot of them, and getting them back into the community.
About 3 weeks after he started working for us, my friend Rit was fired from Star because his job was not to place people, but just train them. And they felt that Peter was not capable of holding down the job. And afterwards, one of their representatives came in, told me it was a little sensitive because they knew I was friends with Rit, but that I should understand that Peter wasn't capable of this job, and that I could get my $300 back from the state of Connecticut. We had already qualified, and we could just send him back to Star. And I can remember how angry I was, and I almost threw him out the window here.
The whole placement worked out so well, especially in terms of elevating Peter's self-esteem and his interaction with people, because his people skills are, I wish I had it.
Is this going to be the silent, the silent part of the tape? Or the video? I had seizures as a child. In '91, they put a shunt in, and I'm not sure what a shunt is. I'm not sure what a shunt does. I was wondering why they didn't do this when I was small. If it wasn't an option.
Happy birthday to you.
I don't know how I can blow out this many candles.
Well, we couldn't fit them all in the cake, Pete.
There really wasn't any idea of how long Peter would live. That I am totally convinced that that's what keeps you alive, having a sense of purpose, having a sense of love, having people around you that appreciate you, and you do things to make them appreciate you.
Whereas Peter Lewis will celebrate his 50th birthday on July 16, 2002, and Peter Lewis, through his daily contributions of warmth and business towards all of whom comes to contact with, has provided a reservoir of joy and goodwill for the people of New Canaan, especially the town's children. And Peter Lewis has exemplified the traditional American values of honesty, reliability, and hard work through more than a quarter century of employment at Walter Stewart's market. Peter Lewis' smile and good humor provide sunshine in or even the gloomiest day. And Peter Lewis, through his example, offers a beacon of hope to all who face obstacles in life.
I'm Susie Haller. I'm Peter's sister, his big sister. He is a pretty terrific and special person. I was just saying to Chris here that it's really an amazing event because when Pete was born, the doctors told my parents that he would probably die by the time he was 5. And it's been a pretty remarkable story since then.
When my mother was ill, Bailey asked to go see her one time, and we were taking Peter to the ocean for vacation. And Mother was concerned that Peter had had an episode at the store, or that Bailey had some problem or issue with Peter. Bailey sat by Mom's bedside, and this story makes me a little choked up. But he said, "Marianne, I know that you're not, doing all that well, and that you're not going to be with us forever. And I want you to take this with you, and that is that as long as I have a business in New Canaan, Peter will have a job there." And it gave Mother immense comfort in her last days to know that Peter was not one of the big things that she had to worry about.
Now I wonder what the next 50 years is going to be like. At one point, I thought of going back to Ohio, but I'd been here so long that, after Mom died, that it wouldn't have been feasible. We were looking around for places, and then this wonderful man named Bailey Stewart checked out certain places and checked into Schoolhouse Apartments. Hey, I got a kid that needs a place to live. And he helped me get in here, bless his heart.
Peter's mother was a delightful woman and was dying of cancer, and I knew that she was very concerned about what would happen to Peter. And I had talked to Torch Lewis, Peter's dad, who had told me that he was remarrying and he was moving out of town. Could we help get Peter set up, stay in New Canaan, because he loved the people in New Canaan so much and he loved his job?
For 4 years. I came in here in April of '92. Or excuse me, April of '96. No. April of '98. My mom died in '96, and my dad got married and moved away.
People in the town had been working Schoolhouse Apartments in town, which was really a federally run program. And they were well aware of Peter's disabilities and his capabilities and his need, and they made a home for him at the Schoolhouse Apartments, which has just worked out tremendous.
A tab on our mailbox to push to the right to make sure that we're okay. I do it in the morning before I go. It has to be done by 2 o'clock. And it's also our mailbox.
So what would happen if someone hadn't clicked over there to
They call you and make sure you're all right. I like the fact that I'm able to do it with a little help, but I'm able to do it. I guess a lot of people had their doubts. So did I, but I mean, I don't like to be dependent on a lot of people because, they have their time too. You like to be as independent as possible.
You got some songs you're excited to hear tonight? Cool.
Everything.
The whole thing was pretty tremendous.
I just don't enjoy being sick. I mean, you only need to be sick, real sick, once or twice in your life, and you just don't want to do it again. All of a sudden, I've run into several people lately handful of people I've known forever. All of a sudden, they've got cancer, and you don't ask. They're very, very, very sweet to tell you that they're sick. And of course you don't ask. And you take care of, you help them out as much as possible. But cancer's crazy. It robs people of all ages. Once you start smoking, you get hooked. And,
Anyone in your family smoked?
I think they all did. Everybody did except me.
So your mom smoked?
Yeah, my mom smoked. And it just too much. Mom, I don't know if I had mentioned this. Mom died of lung cancer, and that's one of the basic reasons why I'm glad I never smoked now. I only have 45 minutes. I mean, I've got a hot date at 5 o'clock.
Do you?
In fact, I had two. I had to turn down one. I never forget my girlfriends. My grammar school girlfriends, my crushes, if you will. Some of the girls hated me, but I still... and they didn't actually hate me, but they just, didn't like me as much as I liked them. I guess that's the way you want to put it. You can't worry about stuff like that because you can't. If you keep worrying about it, you don't have time to. You can't live a normal life like it. You can't, go on about your day-to-day stuff, and it's not worth it. I'm pretty sure. Cross my fingers. I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep healthy from here on in.
I don't think I'm not gonna bother you too much longer,
Who loves you? I'm not bugging you. Huh?